Thank you for joining Mobile World Live TV here at Mobile World Congress, Los Angeles. I'm Martha DeGrasse, and I'm joined by Bryan Lubel. He is EVP Connected Health at Core. Bryan, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Martha. Appreciate you having me.
It's great that you're here. So we hear that Core has launched a new suite of digital healthcare products. Why now and why this market?
Yes, we're really excited. Today, Core announced the launch of the Connected Health Telemetry solution. The Connected Health Telemetry solution is designed to enable remote patient monitoring service providers, provider networks, contract research organizations that run clinical trials to have a fast, easy, economical way to scale and capture biometric data from patients and study participants and transmit that data to the cloud for improving patient outcomes, for enabling very accurate, precise data capture from study participants in clinical trials.
Perfect. Tell me a little bit more about the value proposition for these customers that are using this digital solution.
Sure. Well, the value proposition kind of goes back, if you look at the connected health market over the last 10 to 12 years, every one of these players in the market have had to develop their own data telemetry solution. And it's a very complex thing to do because it's complicated because you have regulatory and security requirements. You have interoperability and integration requirements for all the different types of medical sensors. And this isn't technically the competency of many of these companies that are developing really unique value propositions around analytics of healthcare data in terms of improving patient outcomes, but they have to now worry about how to develop the technology and IoT solution to capture the data and get it to the cloud. And that's usually a significant investment for all of them to make, and it's not necessarily where their resources are trained and specialized to do that.
So you saw a gap in the market, and that's the impetus for this solution?
We did, and it was interesting because as we entered into the pandemic almost 2 years ago now, this is a challenge that most connected health companies were facing, and it was gating the scale of connected health adoption. So we were seeing connected health being adopted, we were seeing it start to begin to become more mainstream, but the economics, the technology challenges, and the expertise have made it very difficult for many of these companies to do that. And so we felt as though our expertise is in the data telemetry space, in terms of providing the network coverage, in terms of providing the expertise in terms of country by country you have to go through and certify specific types of cellular hardware that is allowed to be used in those countries, providing a coverage footprint for these companies to be able to capture data from patients all over the world. And so we felt this was something we really could come in and make more of a ubiquitous utility solution that was easy to adopt and allow these companies to focus on their core competency.
Perfect. Now, how do you differentiate yourself from other IoT connected health offerings?
Well, here's the big difference, is that everyone who's tried to do this in the past has also had designs on the endpoint data from those patients. They've looked for a way to monetize that data. That is not our expertise.
Okay.
We want to transport the data, therefore we're calling it the telemetry solution. So we're looking to help the customer take the data from the endpoint, which is typically the patient or the clinical trial study participant, or potentially a medical device or a sensor that needs to be monitored, pass it securely and in a compliant way to the cloud and deliver it to the customer, and then we're done with the data. We don't look to take that data and try to market that data, try to monetize it any way. We're focusing on our core competency, which is Core with a K, network.
All right, Bryan Lubel, EVP Connected Health at Core. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me.